Make this Christmas one to remember with a very uniquely personalised letter from the big man sent to your child. Not me. I'm not the big man. Father Christmas, Chris Kringle, Santa Claus. And that's thanks to our friends at the santaco.co.uk. Their innovative website creates a truly personalised letter, not some stock letter with they just put the names in various places. This is word for word created uniquely for your child, where you go into the website, put in all the details in terms of what they've been doing, their achievements, what they might not have done very well in the last year, things you want them to learn, where they're going on holiday, all these types of experiences, their siblings, their friends, all that type of thing. And the technology crafts a perfectly personalised letter to your child and sends it out via Royal Mail. They have some fantastic Trustpilot reviews as well. And this is their launch year as well. So some really good deals to be had. And West Ham Network members and friends and viewers of the show, they have a special deal for you with 30% off the list price if you use the promo code West Ham Network at checkout. And they have several different packages as well. They have the basic package, which is a personalized letter and features in a festive red envelope. I'll show you in a minute how that looks. A nice list certificate and free delivery via Royal Mail. They also have the deluxe, which, as it said, is the basic package but printed on even glossier with a traditional red wax seal, including magic North Pole snow, a candy cane, a plushie toy, and a Christmas Eve checklist. And then they do have the North Pole signature experience, which includes a personalised story of a plot based on on Santa and your child, and some various other stuff as well, including a QR code to hear Santa read the story aloud, as well as a personalised video with the big man. And here is my letter, a certificate, which says that I am officially on the nice list this year. Standard, sort of knew that, but now I've got a certificate to prove it. The official North Pole delivery made out to Russie B. The letter that we saw, but obviously all printed up, and it's got a QR code at the bottom there, which apparently, which we'll find out if we just scan the QR code, and it downloads, gives you a voice note.
Greetings from the Santaco. Wow, what a year it's been for you. Well done on your huge YouTube success and that thrilling chat with Slaven Bilic. Hope you're still tying those shoelaces proudly. I've heard about your Dubai adventure and the pizza challenge. Cheeky.
There we go. So that is thesantaco.co.uk, and get involved. Come on, you irons. Come on, you irons, indeed. Come on, you irons, indeed. Been a bit busy today, isn't it?
Single bells, single all the way. Oh, what fun it is to see West Ham
lose away. Hey, clever. I'm just going to put my nice list certificate there, just so people know.
Honestly, just for your reference, if you are watching, obviously I have 3 children. I'm in the process of spending an hour. I'm only joking, it doesn't take that long, but it does take a little while for me to do 3 children, but I am doing it, and I'm waiting on theirs coming in on the post, so I'll keep you in the loop. But get yourself involved, because we only have 20 days, if that 19 sleeps. So it's a great opportunity. It's a great start of business, and we're giving them a boost as well. So go across and check out their wonderful
West Ham
website.
company as well. The boys, the guys that run it are West Ham fans as well.
West Ham fans, yeah.
We always try and help. Anyway, let's any ho. It's been a bit busy today, isn't it? It's been a bit weird. It's been a strange 48 hours, 72 hours, isn't it?
Well, here's one for you. Has it really been strange, or are we just used to what is going on? Because I feel like I've been here, done that, wore the t-shirt. I feel like this is deja vu, Russie B. I suppose it's another way of looking at it, but genuinely, that's how I feel.
I mean, I spoke about it this morning, in terms of sort of so obviously the Leicester City game, and then after that, there was when we were doing the review show, there was a lot of chatter from the likes of Jacob Steinberg and stuff like that about it being time. Roshane came out and said it was time. Henry Winter, some high profile journalists. And then obviously yesterday there was no training for the first team. Matchday +1. They don't train, and so there was no one at the training ground. So it was like a vacuum. And that vacuum was filled with, he's gone. He's going to go. He's going to go. We're going to have a board meeting. We're not going to have a board meeting. We're going to have a board meeting today. No, it's going to be in 72 hours. He's gone. Potter's coming in. And then today he turns up for training. Normal day as always. And apparently has a meeting, a Zoom meeting, which I think would be, I'm waiting for Canning Town Len to do a video about that because I think it'd be hilarious. I could just imagine everyone being, you're on mute. Danny K, you're on mute. Someone's got really bad Wi-Fi connection or something like that. And he must be a fucking good interviewer because he convinced Sullivan and Snyden to give him the job. And he's convinced them to give him another game.
Or did he?
Or did he? That's the question. Or did he? And again, we can fill the vacuum with no sort of official line with speculation, can't we?
Absolutely.
We can.
Yeah. I can't help though, Russ, and all right, I just simply, I don't know how many more times I need to say what I'm going to say, and I don't know why. I'm not even saying it with an element of. I'm not saying it with an element of smugness either. I'm really, really not. But to sit and for years spend time using your energy to disrespect and down David Moyes, to use your time and energy to sit there and disrespect and down Lopetegui, when in actual fact all your focus needs to be on one man and one man only, which is what the people are talking about in the chat. It's the way we conduct business. It's the narrative that they put out. It's all led because of the choice to leak a mixture of information that we know categorically that they do. We know factually that they do it because they have a history of doing it under their son's name previously. So we know we know they like the leak. We know that, right? And I'm not denying there's other sources out there, but we know that from the top there's a leak. Wild but true. And that they spin the narrative in their way. What really baffles me is how these people have become successful businessmen in doing business the way they do, but maybe that is just the dog-eat-dog element of life that they do. They don't give a shit, and they railroad over people. And I'm very mindful here of whatever. But my concern really is here. The narrative's been put out. They leak bits of news. It's all over the place, as we know, all over the place. It's Lopetegui's out. He's got this. It's 60-40. He's staying. And now I'm starting to think, is he staying because West Ham have spent the last 48 hours looking at people and people are knocking us back? I can't help but think that people knock us back because I can't help but think that managers look at West Ham or head coaches look at West Ham and go, well, why am I going to go there? I can't help but feel like that now. I genuinely feel, not now. In actual fact, I've been feeling like that for a long time. I've been feeling like that as far back as when we had Chicharito and Felipe Anderson. And I feel like I was feeling like that when we had them on the bench. And I always remember talking about West Ham being a club that could not handle egos, but we would just bring people in for the sake of it, just to appease the fans. Just the wrong attitude is the issue here. The wrong attitude. And my focus not really on Lopetegui, because do you know what? After 14 games, it's not like me to quickly make my judgment, but I feel like I've quickly made my judgment, and I feel like it's everyone's entitled to their own opinion, of course, absolutely, but my simple choice comes down to the fact that we've not got an identity, right? 14 games in, we've not got an identity. So now you start to panic, and now you start to get beat by relegation candidates, Leicester City. The reason, I'm sorry, I know I'm going here, Russ. I know I'm going on a rant, but I have to. Right. I'm hearing people saying, well, at least we gave it a go. At least we tried. No, we didn't give it a go. We only gave it a go, or we looked like we gave it a go, because Leicester, with all due respect to you, Leicester, and any Leicester fans that are watching, which are probably not, were not great. They were not great during that game. When Leicester broke, they had chances and they passed the ball to our defence. So they were not great. They've done that on several occasions. They were not great at all. And I think if we had won that game, that would have felt like a worse win than the Ipswich game, because I felt like that papered over the cracks that Ipswich win, which is ridiculous considering I know it's a results business, but the only game I've ever been excited about this season, the only game is Newcastle game. And I'm going to shut up for a second.
No, you're totally right. I think you're totally right. And I think it's... no one's come out good at this. No one. This whole saga in the last 48 hours, not one party has come out of this well. And I mean, you look at it, as you said, if we're led to be believed, and again, we always say according to reports and and the information that people give you is obviously the information they want to give you rather than the actual information. We know, you're right. There's certain outlets which are used by certain members of the board to get information out, and similarly, there's certain outlets which the director of football uses to get out information as well. And so you've had it. Lopetegui's had it both ends in the last 48, 72 hours, and I feel sorry for him. I do. I feel sorry for him. I also feel sorry for him now because his position, to be honest, is untenable now. Untenable. It has to be now because, we're led to be believed that they see the Wolves game as a cup final and we have to win. What if we win? What if we win? Because the chances are we're going to informed Bournemouth side and lose to them, and then we've got Brighton at home, who we typically don't play well against, and then the next win game will be Southampton.
But that's the thing, though. It's a little bit like rinse and repeat and reset. It's like what Dan said today. We reset, we rinse, we repeat, we reset. Like, that's the thing. Like, how many times last season, for example, did you hear about it's a must-win game? And we're 14 games into the season, we're in a must-win game. Now, I actually probably defined the Leicester game as a must-win game. I remember coming off the back of Arsenal, and my concern more about the Arsenal loss was the Leicester game. That was my concern already. Immediately, I was like, shit. Like, if we lose that Leicester game, like, I don't know how he survives it, but we didn't just lose it. We lost it by a reasonable size score, and with shitloads of chances, but not playing well. And now we're going into the Wolves game. They're under pressure. Me and you know Dave as a party from the podcast, the Wolves podcast, and we're kind of jesting with each other. Thanks, Toby, mate. Very appreciated. And we're jesting like, hey, like they're talking about it's inevitable. Like in the Wolves fans' heads, they're saying exactly what we're saying, which is, why give him the game on Monday? But
both sides, isn't it? It's both sides, isn't it?
Yeah, and everyone's kind of joking about, because I don't think you could. If Lopetegui wins on Monday, Russ, the board won't sack him.
No,
but if he loses, it feels like they've set it up to go, well, we're kind of forced now to sack you because we've said we'd give you one more game. And the board to be so split, like 60-40, to put that information out, to then suddenly say it was a unanimous decision not to sack him. I mean, I listened to his post-match press conference against Leicester. He's got his press conference tomorrow, which we're bringing to you live on the channel. I don't see how West Ham replace Lopetegui with a manager or a head coach that currently doesn't want to come to our club. I can't, for the life of me, think about someone who wants to come. That's why we probably need to go and get some really young, up-and-coming geezer. But then
which you won't do,
which we won't do. But also on top of that, if you look at Brighton, then the reason why a young and up-and-coming boss is doing it, or comes up and does it, is because everyone from before him has done it, and the infrastructure that we all talk about is there. But we don't have that infrastructure because we react. We're a reacting club. We're a reactive club. We're not a proactive club, and that's the thing that pisses me off. I would have more faith in it being proactive and losing a game than being reactive and losing a game.
Yeah, sorry. No, I get that totally. I think we naturally, and I was talking to Adam from Dad's Our Podcast on WhatsApp this morning, and the case about, and I don't necessarily think it's, and again, It's not. I'm not just pinning it on the current regime, because actually, if I go back and look at other managers, the last manager we actually bought out of a contract would have been Pardew. I think. I don't even know if we bought him out of the contract or he left, but that was the last manager. So that was almost 20 years ago. And when was the last time a football club poached our manager? Because if a manager gets poached, he's doing his job right.
Mm.
When was the
100%.
last? I can't think in my lifetime of a club coming in and go, we want to take the West Ham manager. Can't think of it. Can't think of one time. And it's proverbially the way. It's always seemed this short term sort of psyche. I thought, with the new way the head coach system, we could chop and change. I mean, the yin to the yang, Ant, is basically, as you said, it's not a case of. It's a case of we might as well just keep him in the thing while we're still working on getting someone else in. That could be a case, But the trouble is now is you've got a situation that happened yesterday with the Todabo stuff coming out.
I mean, when you're hearing about that though, like,
yeah,
I mean, it's I don't know, Russ. Like the thing's it's wild. It's like the wild, wild west. It really is
crazy at the moment.
It's wild, but we get this regularly. Like we do. We always hear of something, but this particular situation, the Todibo, the Paqueta, the Emerson, the Areola, and it doesn't kind of make sense. The team selection.
The Brentford game as well, when Paqueta and Kudus had a halftime row, that happened as well, didn't it? When they sort of it's just
and I'm just like I'm at the stage now where I say this every week, and I'm like I really don't know what to believe anymore. I really don't. I don't, because it's like crazy, and I'm so genuinely I'm so glad I'm not involved in that world. Like I'm so
exactly, because for that leak to come out about the Todabo stuff, right? As I was saying to us on the WhatsApp chat, I'd love to have done that as a show, because that was a brilliant. All the voice notes, everyone was like banging some really good points. Why was that information sat on until yesterday? Why wasn't it released on Sunday? If it happened on the Saturday and things like that, there is so much going behind the scenes that we just do not know about, and it's so. And as I said, we've got. I did the show this morning, and I sort of talked about the managers, who could come in, and there's clearly ones who are Tim's picks. There's clearly ones who are Sullivan's picks. We were led to believe that Carrick is someone who one member of the board's really trying to push as well. And you get to a situation where it's almost like there's too many cooks, and they've spoilt the broth now. You know what I mean? There's too many. I mean, where before it was really Sullivan, Gold, Brady. Now you've got Tripp. Now you've got Krajinski. Now you've got Vanessa. Now you've got there's about and it's almost too many. It's too many to make a unanimous decision. If they want to make a unanimous decision, that's impossible. It's impossible now.
I know there's loads and loads of comments, and we're going to get through them in a second. I'm just going to bring this one up, and I'll tell you why I'm bringing this up. Right, hi there, guys. Hope you're well. Other than West Ham, this needs to spread. There's 10,000 in this already to create a boycott. Please do not go. It's the only way to hurt Sullivan, and please spread from Zinksy. So Zinksy, I'm going to address this because I genuinely like. Right, so I'm a season ticket holder who this probably past couple of seasons really struggled to get to games. More than I've ever done in my life, right? Now, just down to the nature of having shitloads of kids and, all that sort of stuff. But when it comes to the boycott, I don't think it's going to do... I'm not... Everyone is entitled to do what they want to do is the point I'm trying to make, right?
Yep.
So that's exactly what... But for me, the boycott should have taken place 7 years ago. Like right at the start of the journey of the new stadium, and I feel like I don't know if the fans are going to follow on that, and I'm not. I don't know. I'm trying to be careful of what I'm saying here, because I'm like, everyone's entitled to go to a game if they're going to a game, and I would never look down upon anyone who says
totally. It's like the Arsenal
game, or
it's like the Arsenal game last year when people criticised Chris Sutton, criticised play, and loads of pundits for leaving when we were losing 6-0. You know, you pays your money, you takes your choice. You know, you can do whatever you want with your seat, and if you don't want, if you want to exercise your right to not turn up, that's up to you. That's totally up to
And
you.
I think if there is a boycott, I think I do think that shows. The point I'm trying to make is a boycott will absolutely send a message. It will absolutely send a message. 100%. It will send a message. I ain't gonna slag off the people that do go, and I'm not gonna slag off the people that don't go. But a boycott would absolutely send a message. But the thing is, why is it taken for Lopetegui situation to happen for fans to turn around and say, I want to do a fucking boycott? Because in actual fact,
well, I think social media plays a massive part of it.
Yeah.
It plays a massive part.
It does. And I think we are going to address the comments. I swear to God, I'm just jumping in now. I do agree with this point. In terms of Lopetegui, I think the message has been sent. He's gone. I do agree with that, Damien. I do think he will probably be gone. But in terms of the owners, the message is not sent. And to be honest, they ain't going anywhere.
No, so, and at the end of the day, you know, it is. You know, that's to be honest, that's a separate conversation. You know, I mean, the fact of the matter is, we've got a situation now where we've got a head coach in charge who knows basically if he loses, he's gone. If he wins, he's probably going to be gone in a couple of weeks' time anyway. So it's a case of when, if not if. When, you know, and actually, to be honest, it's as I said the other day, it's like being cut with 1,000 slashes, or whatever it is. It's just prolonging the agony, and I feel sorry for Lopetegui as well. Because at the end of the day, he's in a position now where he knows that he's not really been backed. The only reason he's been backed is because the likes of Potter don't want a 6-month contract. Too fucking right. Who would want it? Which any manager or coach of their self-worth would come into firefight for 6 months, unless it was someone who was grateful for us to do it. And that's been the issue. We've got people in who are, you know, I think. You know, you go back to the managers, you know, obviously Pellegrini, you know, that, I mean, the only one was probably in terms of maybe slightly left field was bringing in Slav, really, because that didn't really fit the MO of the types of managers that we bring in. They tend to be Premier League proven, yada, 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 experience. Slav wasn't either really in terms of the Premier League. Yeah. Now, what's interesting is to see what happens tomorrow, because the press conference is still booked in for and streamed, and it's currently still streamed live. Whether that changes, I don't know, because there's going to be some very awkward conversations and questions put to Lopetegui tomorrow.
Well, he had it straight after. He had it straight by the left of the game. He had it straight after the Leicester game. They were. Never. I know. Because of the board situation. You're right.
No, because this is on West Ham's term. This is a West Ham press conference rather than Amazon Prime or whatever. This will be, and he'll be in a room with the likes of Rashane, Jacob, people like this who are going to be very much have come out of it as anti Lopetegui. So it's going to be really interesting. Sorry, Karen.
I think there was no point in us trying to even think that we were just going to talk about Lopetegui and not talk about the board, Russ. That's like it's always going to happen. The problem is, Anton, fans have had enough of Sullivan. Mate, you do not need to tell me. I'm at front of the queue. I feel like everyone's following me finally. Like, I was asked on another channel last year, would I have Emery at West Ham? And my answer to that was no. Why was my answer to no? Because I don't feel like any manager under our current ownership would get West Ham playing or doing the right things. And that's like that's honestly that's the way I feel, because what proof have we had under our current stewardship that we get a manager that will change the whole dynamics of West Ham, apart from the couple of seasons from COVID into the tail end of COVID when we had 3 successful years in Europe. Apart from that, when have we had someone giving us the flamboyant style of football under this current ownership, like and doing things the way that we think where West Ham should be? We are a sleeping giant. We're fucking huge. We're huge, Russ. We are. In terms of a fan base, in terms of a stadium, we're huge. And then we're going to be left with Gollum managing us, as Georgie 1foot LCFC has said, which Dan called him today, Steve Cooper. But yeah, I am absolutely 100% behind the disagreement on the owners. But I don't know why it's taken 14 games for some other people, not saying all, but some, to just finally join that thing. It's been there for years. It's been there for years. It's inbred in West Ham now under this current ownership. It's inbred in West Ham. That's just the way I feel.
I think that the thing that surprised me with today's sort of outcome has been the not just the way it's been played. I mean, I don't think people. It's the fact is we've got Sky at London Stadium on Monday with a disenchanted fan base, really, in all honesty, and all it's going to take is Wolves to score in the first 10 minutes, and it's going to be horrible. It's that on a knife edge that as soon as Cunha basically whacks with him from 30 yards, which is more than likely to. I know they beat them, but if ever you want a side to motivate to win a game, it's the fact of your ex-boss. You could win and get him sacked, who left you high and dry just before the Premier League season kicked off last season. It's too many. It's just. I feel sorry for Lopetegui. It's all on top of him now. It's all on top of him, and particularly if he's openly said he's not going to play Todabo now. And I'm sure there'll be a question about that, and whether that's going to be the broadcast section, whether in the embargo section. I would imagine the embargo section, to be honest. It's just I just can't see. I just couldn't see a way out for him. He must, as I said, he must be a fucking good interviewer. He must interview very well to convince them that he deserves the next game. Because I just can't. I just don't see it. I just cannot see.
I seen. We were talking today again, and we were talking a lot about, or yesterday and today. I don't know. We've been talking about it so much. I don't even know what day we're on about it. But I said earlier in the season, the only saving grace for me is that Tim Steiden's kicking about. And the thing that confuses me is, why is Tim Steiden kicking about if this is so bad behind the scenes? Because surely to God you'd be looking at this whole situation and going, this is wild. Unless he didn't get the man he wanted, which I don't think he did, and he had to deal with what was put in front of him, and then he agreed to give that a go. But rumour is that he's saying behind the scenes, from early on, he wasn't happy. And they're doing the due diligence on other managers out there.
I mean, that's the thing.
Another thing that came out. Oh, sorry, go for it. No, go for it.
Go you first, go, mate. Go you first.
No, you go. No, you go.
Why you got your train of thought? Go on, because I can remember. I'll get it.
I've got my thing written down.
Oh, take you out. Oh, no, I was going to say. I mean, that's again because of the lack of transparency. We are speculating everything. Let's be honest. No one knows no one knows what's gone on. No one knows. We can assume. We can put 2 and 2 together and maybe come up with 5. Now the flip side is you're totally right. It could be that actually the Wolves game is come too quick to make a change, and actually we are still negotiating with A, B, C. In terms of bringing them in, and a decision has been made. It's like Gladiator. He's put the thumbs down already, but actually that's being sorted. Now, we were led to believe that was happening during the international break as well, and people were sounded out. So maybe the fact is they haven't assumed. I personally still think, and I said in the WhatsApp group that it was part of what we're doing now is what we plan to do in maybe a year's time with this squad transition happening and everything else. But because there's no clarity, we don't know what's going on. We just don't know. And so because of that, we're speculating. And then that riles people up because we're speculating what's happening.
Well, our speculation is fueled by the leaks and the stuff that comes out from the club.
And exactly, the stuff that's been leaked. And it's the stuff that's been leaked is the stuff they want leaked.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Because that's a leak.
It's a leak, and it's wild. It's actually, it's wild, and I don't expect anything different, if I'm being honest. I really don't. I really, really don't.
What was the point? I'm not shocked. The point you wrote down?
All right, sorry, I'm going on to this point here. So earlier on today, they were talking about when Lopetegui was signed, when the message was coming out about Lopetegui staying for the Wolves game. What was brought up about it was that when he signed, he was told he had to work towards 3 points, integrate 9 new signings from all over the place, whether they come from the Premier League or abroad, integrate them into a season, especially into a rebuild season, right? Fair play. That makes a lot of sense. The transition over from losing the players, the swinging players was large, and I think we're going through another one again in the summer.
Yeah.
The next one was change the system where we were playing to create chances. Okay, I'll say Newcastle. I'll say
Leicester. We did create
create chances at Leicester. Off the top of my head, I can't think off the top of my head any other real games that had that level of intensity in terms of the created chances. And then the last one was win games on a more consistent basis. And Lopetegui apparently still believes there's room for improvement, but believes he is hitting two of the 3 points that I've just mentioned during a big rebuild season. Now, the integration of 9 new signings, I can't see how he's hitting that, especially if he's arguing with half of the players, if that's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Changing the system where we're playing to create more chances. Well, I only can think off the top of my head 2, probably 3 at max games, and when games are more consistent. Sorry, and win games on a more consistent basis, which we're not doing right.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing out of all of that is change the system or whatever. Even out away from that, every game, Russ, we play differently. Every game we set up differently. Every game substitutions are different. We're not playing the same. Therefore, we've got no. I'm going to repeat the word again. We've got no vision. We've got no identity. Like at least with Leicester, at least. I'm going to say it, right? I don't care. Shoot me fucking down if you want. At least with fucking David Moyes, we knew what we were doing. I'm not trying to say I want him back. I'm just saying at least we knew. At least with Leicester, they know that they are doing what they're doing. Like, whether it's shit or not, at least at these clubs, they know what they're doing. We just don't know what we're doing. Like, every game, I have no idea. We have no idea the team selection, Russ. We have no idea the substitutions he's going to make and the times he's going to make them. And they're sporadic. They're really odd. Some of them are really odd. It is odd.
They are. Yeah, they are. I mean, as I said, I think he's used the most substitutes in the Premier League. And I think he's used virtually every substitute. He's basically 5 a game. I get his, and again, his sort of report. He's sort of his own Ofsted report in terms of his coaching. I think the integration, you're right. You know, when you've got a situation where you've pushed or you've had a halftime row with Paqueta and Kudus, and you've basically banished one of your star centre backs to play with to play with the kids for the time being. Technically, we can't buy him yet. He's not ours. So if he wants to leave, how does that work out? You know, in the summer, in January, because he's only technically on loan, and I don't think that has been a fair reflection of him meeting that KPI. The style of football, creating more chances, probably statistically, probably have. If you count them all up, probably have on an average basis compared to the previous regime. But that's going to be looking at the stats. But yeah, I just think it's. I mean, he's not even clutching at straws now, is it? It's beyond clutching at straws now in terms of what's happened, and it's almost like he's just keeping the seat warm until we get the person we want. That's what it seems at the moment. Just that.
I don't mean to laugh, but I'm laughing at this comment from Toby. Well, thanks, guys. I'm absolutely fuming now. Rush, should we go through some comments? Because loads of people have commented.
I've been going through them, but just because
that's how ranty I've been. I've not even seen them.
I've been putting them up as we've been going along, so don't worry too much. Everyone's had their chance. You know, we've put as much comments as Gatesy and whatnot in the chat as well. So
Victor says we play a high line. He would have seen it. It didn't work sitting in the stand against Arsenal, but did the same thing against Leicester. So not learnt from his mistakes.
But that's the
I think
thing.
there's a time and a place, and I don't mind that. I don't mind playing a high line sometimes, though.
No, when it needs
With the right
must,
players, no fucking Maverick on us.
and the right formation, isn't it? And it's like if it's not, it's like again that Arsenal game. Everyone's like, brilliant. He's playing the same 11. I was like, no, you don't play the same 11 as you played against Newcastle. You don't. And I just think sometimes where he's, that's when he needed to tinker. He didn't fucking tinker. Really, really frustrating. When you know, and again, particularly from the Arsenal game, the position, he was in a higher up position, and he was on his walkie-talkie, and you thought they would have tried to move, players. No.
Yeah, Russ. What happened with Emerson? It's my last cheese and cracker gone. Right.
Cheese and cracker, Gromit. Is it a really like strong cheddar, Anton?
It's Wensleydale and cranberry.
Oh God, you're so posh.
With a caramelized onion.
Oh my God, so middle class.
So sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Apart from thinking about cheese now.
Emerson, you're talking about Emerson.
I don't know what the situation is. All I heard about was that something happened between him, Paqueta, and Emerson. Hence the reason they didn't start. Everything we're talking about is hearsay. So I don't know.
And the fact is, it boils down to lack of clarity, lack of communication with the fan base, and because all it does is, as I said, just leave a void. If Lopetegui came out and said this is what happened, like at least you've gone, well, that's the only real account we've had. But it's not. It's Jacob Steinberg says this, Roshane will say this, X will say that, Sean will say that, and sometimes they contradict each other because their sources aren't necessarily the same.
Well,
sources
Sean contradicted himself today.
There was the holding. Was it standing by? He put up a stand like a test, and he was like, "Don't jump on the banner." And then 2 seconds later, he said, "Oh, he's happy. It's all right." But to be honest, part of me thinks that's how it panned out today.
Well, I tell you what.
He...
Let's predict the future, right? I'm going to give you my prediction, Russ, for the future.
Go on then.
Lopetegui's going to have his press conference tomorrow, and it's going to get heated. We're going to go into Wolves, and I don't really know what the result is. But if he loses, he's gone. If he wins, he stays. Inevitably, I think he'll go. And in the meantime, West Ham are working behind the scenes to try and get someone else in. If they can get the one they want in, they'll move. I think there's a reason why West Ham are not moving, though, because we're not getting the right one in. Therefore, I predict David Moyes is going to come back for a swan song. I'm kind of jesting. I'm kind of being a little bit serious. I'm kind of not putting it past the whole board to do it. Because a comment I think you had mentioned, because you'd been speaking to someone else, was the only person that's been able to get a tune from this board, not the team, but from this board, the only person, whether you like it or not, who's watching this channel, and I'm not saying I want him back, so let me just reiterate, I do not want David Moyes as West Ham's manager. Please hear me. Let me, Russ, clip that. I do not want David Moyes as West Ham's manager. But he's the only one that got a tune out of the boulders.
He's the only one who's managed to navigate himself through the setup. Now, we're not saying that, but you look realistically, Slav, not really.
I agree.
Slav, he was great on the crest of a wave in terms of being in the last season at the Bowling. And then as soon as they moved to London Stadium, didn't work. They didn't let him go. Pellegrini, no. Big Sam, kind of, and you're right. Avram, I'm sort of a bit far back, but anyway, in terms of, you're totally right. He's the only managed to get a tune out of him, and so was managed to navigate himself through the thing. I agree with Ronald and Tony. It's not going to happen, but it is quite funny. And again, it was like, when that person made the comment to me, I thought, you know what, you're fucking right, mate. You are. You're so right. So fucking right. Is there any saving grace? Maybe they've not sacked due to a lack of viable replacements. I think, Toby, they haven't got agreement with the person they want. And if you look at every time that they've sacked a manager,
Probably everyone.
yeah, I think every time they looked at they've sacked a manager. So Slav, Pellegrini particularly, they've had DM ready. He's almost ready to go straight in. So they don't like that sort of not knowing, so to speak. And again, it's about being risk averse. I think the people they want, the person they want, they haven't got yet. Not so they're not going to get him, but
well, apparently he is not wanting the job because apparently Slav told him not to take the job.
Yeah,
apparently.
And we know he was talking, and we know that Edin was talking to Slav the day after our interview, day before our interview, because he mentioned it. He said, "I was talking to Edin the other day," so he's pretty warned him off. And again, you know, the people we want don't want to come in and on a 6-month contract.
Mm-hmm.
And
is it obvious to everybody that Sullivan cares more about his wallet than he does for our thoughts?
Oh, it's a business, and I think again, it is a business. Let's be honest. You know, he is a businessman, and it is a business, and you know, he's not. It's different if we were playing with our money. Definitely. And I just think sometimes we've spoken about it before, but I just think it doesn't look good from a business side. All of this. And Monday doesn't look good for a business side. If Wolves win and it turns nasty, that's not good for the brand. It's not good for West Ham. As I said, we are on Monday now. Every sports journalist, that press
everyone's
room,
going to be on West Ham. Yeah,
heaving with journos on Monday for the wrong reason, because either one of those managers, they lose, they're sacked, and because it's at West Ham, they know they've seen it before. Burnley, the Burnley incident, walking out of the Arsenal game last year. They know
they might even pay a couple of people and plant a couple of people there. Honestly, that doesn't put it past me just to try and raise the thing. YouTube user, I was mocked at the start of the season for being totally against Lopetegui's appointment. You don't know what you're talking about. You manage Real Madrid. I knew he would be a disaster. And I think the thing is, I would never have mocked, and I'm not saying you're addressing us either, but I would never have mocked you. But the one thing I do is, whether I agree or disagree, is I'll back them, especially at the start of their journey.
Yeah, agreed.
Which is what I did with Lopetegui. Was he my first choice? No. And to be honest with you, I don't know, apart from Nick from Claret and Booz's first choice, Lopetegui, he wasn't my first choice, but I was just having a joke there about how Nick said he didn't want Lopetegui, but put the list out saying he did want him. it's just a Nick. But the point I'm trying to say is, yeah, he wasn't my first choice, but I absolutely backed him. And we went to town. We brought a Wolves fan on. We got the other side of the story, and then we got his mate on. But just like,
well, I mean,
brilliant.
I mean that in itself, in terms of Gideon Balaguer, you know, obviously he's been very pro Lopetegui, and then yesterday he put out a really defeatist message, which is totally not him. And so that, to me, even put more writing on the wall that this was done, because for him to come out and say all that stuff. Okay, I want to ask you a question, Mr. Baker. Who is your choice? Because you said he wasn't your first choice. Who? On a name?
Well, back in the summer.
Now
it would have been Amarin. It would have been Amarin at the time. But now, I don't. But now I don't. Now I genuinely don't know. I don't know, Russ.
So if you don't know, how is that? That's the thing. Because
what's their fucking job to know? That's their fucking job to know. But the point I'm trying to say, I'm not meaning that in a dickish manner either. I don't know because I don't know. I genuinely don't know because I don't know what person works with this board. I don't think it really kind of matters who the boss is, because essentially all decisions are still getting made. I mean, Sullivan apparently is still bringing in players. Was one of the 9 not one of his signings? I can't even remember, or suggested by.
I think Somerville was one.
So the point of the matter is he can't help himself. He's somehow still involved. at that stage.
I think it's fair to say whoever gets brought in, there's not everyone's going to agree with.
No,
Because the ball can't agree with. So the fan base. I mean, I've got people in here saying, Conseil Sa. I had a live show on Monday, and there was people who wanted him, people who didn't want him. Bielsa, that would be an absolute shit show. Di Canio, no way. We'd actually
Jesus Christ.
if we think the players are going to have having a round of Lopetegui, Di Canio will have no one left by the time. Mourinho,
team out.
Exactly, and they've lost 7 in a row. Will still. I mean, there's hundreds of Marco Silva, Amarin or Carrick. Carrick's the one I want, in all honesty. Just because I think he would appease.
Yeah, but I agree with you.
But you're right.
Carrick. But my concern is, like, again, I mean, you've got to come into a system. Is Carrick going to come in under a technical director? Is he going to come into West Ham knowing that, are people looking at West Ham going, it's a bit of a sinking ship? Because it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think you go one way or the other. I don't think someone like Sergio Conceição, I cannot see him coming to West Ham because he's come from Porto, where he's won league titles. I think it was Atletico Mineiro in Brazil are interested in him. I think that's where he'll end up going. Bielsa, there's no way. I don't think Bielsa's heart could take it, to be honest, mate. Sorry, even worse, he can't even smoke because he can't smoke in the ground. So how's he going to smoke his cigars? I think there's. If there was one person that everyone got behind, I'd be like, yeah, okay, well, that's the obvious choice. But there isn't an obvious choice. If we say Graham Potter, the fan base will go a meltdown because 90% of people don't want Potter, 10% do. Listen on Talk Sport, all them lot can possibly be perfect for the job. And it's like, well,
I'm reading now other stuff about saying how we're offering managers 6-month deals.
Yeah.
As well. So, I mean, if they're offering managers 6 months deals, then what the fuck?
Who's going to take it?
Who's going to take it?
Why is Graham Potter would take it? Someone made a good point. He's still being paid by Chelsea. If he took a 6-month deal, it'd have to be on decent money because Chelsea's money will stop. Because that's how it works. You carry on paying them until they get a new job. I just can't see any decent manager. People said Allegri, who he doesn't want to come in mid-season. You're looking at we're not going to someone like Iriano. I'm seeing Silva, Hoynes. I mean, Sebastian Hoynes, I think, would be a fucking good manager for us because he's used to working in that sort of director of football style. He's German as well, so him and Tim would work well together. But again, it's paying out a contract, and we know that's not the MO of the board. We know that's not what they do.
Yeah.
And I think DJ Leon said it a bit further up. It's a bit like Martin O'Neill. Do you remember the BBC website? We were signing Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill was coming in. And then basically said no, because actually the way you've dealt with Avram Grant and stuff is, I don't agree with that. And this is the same thing. It's the same. The managers have a bond, they don't, and it's really not put anyone in a good light. No one's won from this. No one's won.
My only other thinking behind this, the crazy thinking, and it's not crazy because when it comes to our owners, then I genuinely don't think anything is crazy. That they force Lopetegui to walk.
Well, he has got MO, isn't he? He has got previous of doing that at Wolves, but
and that saves them. I mean, getting beat at home by Wolves with tensions sky high in the behind the scenes and potential rumours of players falling out with him. The only other thing is the board have gone, well, you can't go from 60-40 to then going, oh, well, we'll just give you the next game, mate. There's method in their madness, and the method in their madness is simply down to how can we get rid of this guy without spending the money. And I think Lopetegui could walk if he gets beat by Wolves at home convincingly, with a crazy fan base there.
Well, you've got a crazy fan base. You've also got, the board don't back you, really, because you've had to basically go in and have a board meeting where you sort of basically begged for your job. Realistically, if the board backed him, he wouldn't have had to have a Zoom call today, allegedly. with the board talking about his future because it's 14 games in, and it's so he's in an intentional. It's almost like constructive dismissal. That's what it's like at the moment. You're right. It's almost like, and that's why I'm really. It's the timing of that Todabo stuff yesterday just seemed to pile more stuff onto him, and yeah, go on, mate.
I mean, we need to remember as well. Like, and I'm not just sticking up here for David Moyes, but it's just came up on my other screen there when they was doing that show with Sky, and they were talking about how his contract was given to him. Like, for people to turn around and say that Sullivan never gave David Moyes a contract and then rip it away from him, and David Moyes was making up that reticate. You seriously tell me David Moyes made that up? I 1,000,000% believe that David Moyes was given a contract. I also 1,000,000% believe that the contract was pulled from him. There's fans out there, Russ, that don't believe that he was given a contract, that he used that as. But I believe he was given a contract. I believe it wasn't the contract he wanted, and I believe the contract offer. That's why he decided. Sorry, that's why he decided to hold off, but it was then pulled from him.
I think the wording of the way he used it was slightly clever. I think discussions were made about a contract, and yes, okay, and then the contract he was given was not the contract he wanted. So the original contract wasn't necessarily a formal contract; it was the manager's contract. It was replaced with a head coach contract, and that's what he didn't want because he's an old school manager. He doesn't like, I've said it before, he got he had veto on all the transfers. How can, Tim Steiden's his boss, in all honesty. How can you veto your boss? That's that system. But because he had it in his contract, with his old contract, he didn't want that. And that was the problem. What's that say? Yeah. Well, we could have, what's the name? We could have Ange. We could have Ange. He might get sacked by Spurs. We could have him. Dodsey has said, am I the only one who thinks Julian deserves time? This bullshit's a boycott would be the actual fuck? I do not. What the actual fuck, man? Unreal. I do think that his identity, but support a team, not the regime. I agree. That's always been me. It's like when people go, I'd rather lose than if we, on Monday, if we lost. No, I never agree with that. You can if you do, but I don't. Joe says, what about Ferreira? No, what's his name? It's not Abel Ferreira. It's something Ferreira. From Palmeiras, seeing rumours of him, means buying out his contract. They finished the season? They're about to finish the season, so I don't think you'll see that happening. Potter is apparently negotiating with Wolves, says Avram Grant's his slipper. Well, we're coming on Monday now. It's the Graham Potter derby. We had this 2 years ago with the Sean Dyche derby when Everton played West Ham at London Stadium with David Moyes and Frank Lampard, and we beat them and they got Sean Dyche. Same thing happens here. Reese says, what about me? I've got 20,000 hours of Football Manager in the last 10 years. Just buy out Thomas Frank's contract for $9 million. It's that easy, isn't it?
How the fuck is Gary O'Neill up for Manager of the Month?
Well, it's the previous month, isn't it? So he had an okay. He had a very good November.
It's fucking I've just seen a petition out there saying vote for Gary O'Neill for Manager of the Month. Everyone vote for Gary O'Neill for Manager of the Month.
Face it, boys. Only one back. Only one bloke will come back on a 6-month contract. I would have took Fonseca. I think the thing is,
well, go back to that comment, Russ. If those rumours are true and they've been leaked, there's the first leak towards David Moyes. There's the first nod towards going back to David Moyes. Honestly, I'm not even fucking joking, Russ. If the board are willing to only offer 6-month contracts, Potter, do you want a contract? Yeah, I'll consider it. 6 months? Nah. Let's go to the next one. 6 months? Nah. Right, I'll tell you what. Leak that, Jacob. Leak that.
Steve Cooper.
Son. Leak that. Yeah. Leak it. So the fans know where we're at and we're getting knocked back because we're approaching people, because then we're lining up Gollum or fucking David Moyes. I mean, oh, shit. Could you actually imagine David Moyes came in when West Ham brought a new head coach in, to design a new system, to design this, to then go fucking back 14 games in, to then go get Steve Cooper 14 games in. I mean, fuck off. Russ, I don't think this is good for my mental health, my insides. Like, this is 55 minutes, and I feel like I've done.
I love it. But I think we need it. I think we need it, though.
It.
I think we need it. I think that the fan base need a sounding board. You know, Dennis said maybe late to chat, but seeing lots of people turn their nose up at Clash of Hyman, Tim's Danish manager, and a solid team, ex Moyes manager. So I am a little biased. Dennis, he's one of several, isn't it? As I said, I did a chart with the managers who we've been linked with, head coaches, and who I predict whose pick they are based on who said it. So someone like Casper, that came from Florian Peltenberg, who we know is Tim Steiner's mate. So Casper for me was one of his picks. He also said that Edin was, but now Edin's not, but it was still one of his picks, I think, as well. Honestly, it's mental. This club always keeps me entertained because you never know. You know, I sat there. I was, on our little West Ham, like various West Ham, WhatsApp groups. Pretty convinced we were going to introducing a new manager on Monday.
Yeah,
pretty convinced. And if we weren't, we was going to have Kevin Keane or Mark Robson or someone as an interim manager for that game. A bit like what Leicester did. They got rid of Cooper. They'd already signed Rube, but it was a bit too early for him to come in. He was playing Brentford, so he didn't fancy that game as being his first game in charge. West Ham win a more winnable game at home. And now, and that's what I thought. That would make sense. But I just think they've been turned down. Cav Southgate into the chat. I mean, it's if this is what's on the offer, you're going. Avram Grant is out of contract soon, so Avram Grant slipper. Russ is spot on, so you're totally right. Same. See, even Damien agrees with me. That's when you know him, right? I've just watched. It was Wensleydale with cranberries and caramelised onion. Pardew might be priced away from Talk Sport. It's. I'd take Iri. I think Iri Ivan Bournemouth's a great manager, but we have to buy out his contract. His contract runs out next summer.
He was under pressure as well, right at the start.
A lot of pressure. They a
lot. Like he was literally. I think he was a must-win game.
He was. Yeah. It was. And again, it's like but I think you saw unlike Lopetegui, that you saw enough green shoots to stay with him. And again, that's the whole discussion about Moyes. Moyes had money in the bank. He did have money in the bank. There's no money in the bank with Lopetegui. He's into his overdraft now. So, yeah. Let's go with a few more. Do you know what? And I'm going to give away some prizes.
Go for it, mate. I think we need to do that and then shut this fucking down, man, before I lose the plot.
Let's give away some prizes, man. Also, for anyone who, all you got to do, if you watch it, is afterwards, just comment on all the videos because we do it every week.
Bremer, Goldie the fish, who is actually called Hulk, is still alive, and I am not fucking joking you. Like, I need to probably watch what I say. I look after that fish all the time. I have fed that fish on a regular occasion, and I never have forgotten that fish has been up there, and it's still fucking live, man. It's industrial. Myself and Mary think it's an industrial fish.
Love
Russ, that fish is nearly 5 years old.
How does that work out?
I don't know. We got it for Freddie when he was 4. 3. 4.
Oh, I've got some special bits here. Got some special bits. Let's do so. Let's cheer everyone up.
Go for it.
Right, we're going to start. Right, we're going to give away some prizes. All you got to do in the chat is put in. What should we do? What hashtags should we put in? All you got to do is put in. And this is Moyes in. And all you've got to do is, so anyone watching on Twitter, go over to YouTube because otherwise it doesn't work. So let me just get set up. We're going to give away some prizes because that's what we do on the West Ham Network. Alan Devonshire can save us. Hayden Mullins is coach of the Fulham under-21s Right, so I'm going to put in Moyes in. Nolan to the end of the season. Well, we'll ask him soon. Right, Moyes. So all you got to do is put Moyes into the chat. That's all you've got to do is put Moyes into the chat. Oh, how funny! And then what
You have to do hashtag. You have to do hashtag.
Not Moyes out doesn't work. It's got to be Moyes in. Not Mourinho in. Doesn't count. Not Moyes in. Very funny, Pete. No, just Moyes in. It's not easy. It's so funny, isn't it? Right, so we're going to draw this. We've got some stuff to give away. We have got some nice nostalgia.
Hashtag. You have to do hashtag Moyes in. Hashtag Moyes in. I'm going to confuse it by making West Ham Network enter.
We've got this picture. Look at this picture signed by all three of them. All three of them. And I'm giving it away to you guys. West Ham Network members, you get into draws all the time as well. And as I said, every day in Advent, we're giving away prizes as well for just commenting. So we're going to give that away. We've got here.
How many are we giving away? Are we giving away one? Are we giving away two things?
We gave three away.
Right. So let's do the first one as Moyes in, and then this because there's people that want to enter but just cannot bring themselves to write Moyes in.
but this one is going to be going to this. So we're going to do a good. All right. So we're going to draw this one. All right.
Hashtag Moyes in. Quickly get your last ones in. Hashtag Moyes in. Can I enter?
Not Moyes in the job centre. Doesn't work, Lawrence. So we're going to do Moyes in. Right, let me share my screen and we'll do this. Because we need a bit of cheering up. Oh, God. Obviously, if Anton gets it, he wasn't actually get it. Russ giving half points in. Indeed, that's a good reference there. Moyes in. Hashtag return of Moyes. No, it's Moyes in. He's in the draw. He's in the draw. Right. Okay. Let me put it up and draw it. And we'll do this one. We'll draw that. Obviously, if it lands on Anton Baker, I'm going to respin all the West Ham Network.
You are.
I know I am. And that's Steve. Steve, well done. You have won this. A signed picture. We've got Paul Allen. We've got obviously Dev and Sir Trev. That is going to you. If you want to message us, West Ham Network, go on, Steve. If you message us at westhamnetwork@gmail.com with your address, don't just email us to say hi. I need your address, then we can post that to you. Right, we're going to do another one.
Right, I've got the next one. Are you ready? You ready? I've got the next hashtag ready for you.
Go on, then.
Ready?
Yeah.
Sully out. I bet you everyone enters this one. If you want to win, what are we giving away, Russ?
We're going to give away a notebook signed by Matthew Etherington.
A notebook signed by Matthew Etherington.
It's got it's a horrible autograph, isn't it? What a horrible autograph.
3, 4,
that is
5,
signed by
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Can't keep up with the Sully outs. There's a shitload of Sully outs coming in.
I think there was we collected more Moyes ins.
Yeah, we might have.
Right, so we're going to run this one, and this person wins a signed Matthew Etherington notebook. So we're going to draw this. So let's draw that. Draw, and that one goes to Alan. Got to send another one to Australia that gets lost. Alan, send me your email again. I'm going to send you out. I'm going to send out a package rather than just one thing. I've got a few bits. I'll send them to you, mate. We sent Alan two stuff, and he got lost. Didn't even bother.
Oh, God.
Didn't even get through to him. But Alan, send me your email, your address again, and we'll do that. Right? Should we do one more? Let's do one more. I've got loads. As I said, we're giving stuff away every. I'm going to keep that one. That's a good one. What should we give away? Let's give away. Oh, that's a good one. I've got some really old ones here. I've got some paper clippings. Where have I got them from? Right, let's give this away.
You're underselling them now.
Oh, we've
Is that
got
Bish?
That is Bish Bosh, friend of the channel, Ian Bishop.
Again, let's see it again.
Lovely. Look at that. Lovely.
Hashtag irons.
Hashtag irons. Okie dokie. Let's get this ready. Let's get this party started. As I said, we will be giving we give away every day in Advent, and I've got some really good bits coming as well to add to that. So for that, hashtag irons, and then we'll draw that, and then
what? Love that shit. Michelle Hansen nearly got me. He nearly got me.
I saw that. It came up again the other day. I don't know what I was watching. It must be in my videos. Michelle Hansen.
Fucking, I can actually feel it building up again inside me.
Oh, lots of entries. Right, we'll give it another 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
4, 3,
2, 1.
And
let's draw this bad boy. Let's draw it. Draw.
And ton. And ton. And ton.
And ton. Not going to win.
Ton.
Not going to win.
And ton. And ton.
Dave M.
David M.
Dave M. Well done, David M. So David M, Alan, and Steve, if you message us at westhamnetwork@gmail.com, we'll get that sent out to you not straight away, but at the weekend. So Alan, you'll probably get it in Australia, probably about February time. So happy Valentine's Day. But yeah, and as I said, we're giving away prizes every day in December, leading up to Christmas. But just for commenting, all you got to do, go back to previous videos, comment more times you enter, the more comments, comment on other people's, the more chances you have of winning. And
Dave, Alan, Steve.
Yeah, although Alan's in Australia, apart from that. Right, peeps, I think it's time to go. The Julien Lopetegui press conference is tomorrow. Sadly, I'm not going to be there covering it. Anton and Holly, or one of them's going to cover it tomorrow. It's going to be fun, isn't it? Looking forward to that.
Can't wait.
Now you don't, no pressure, but you don't have to do the focus monitor or the for sure counter. That's just my thing. You don't have to do it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It shows how much you watch your other people's content.
I really, yeah. Well, you know what my life's been like recently, so
I never do anyway. So we have the focus monitor. So how many times Lopetegui says focus in the press conferences, and then we have the for sure counter. So how many times he says for sure, or focus, and he's quite average. You know, he's consistent with his focuses and his for sures. And so, but don't worry.
Shizzles.
Don't worry. I'll listen later, and I'll update the community tab with that. Be friendly, be friends one and all. We're all West Ham fans, innit? We all have different opinions, but we all are fans of West Ham. Whether we, back the team, not the regime.
Well, Bournemouth 1, Spurs 0.
Yep. And who's our next game after? Anjin. Hashtag Anjin. Hashtag free Todibo. Oh dear. How did Pellegrini play today? In the cups? No, he didn't play in the cups today. Anyway, if you like what we do, don't forget to like, comment, share. We've had plenty of videos up today as the days gone on and the days events have happened. And then tomorrow we'll have what we was going to do for Hammer's headlines today. We're actually going to do in the morning tomorrow. We're reversing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, all good in the hood. Then we have Then we'll have the press conference and all that stuff, and then obviously all the stuff leading up. And you're totally right, Peter. Under 18s on YouTube, FA Cup youth third round. They're away to Grimsby, so make sure you watch that. And also, while I'm here, next Tuesday, everyone talks about the academy and how much they love the academy. Well, fucking get down to Rush Green on Tuesday. They're playing Borussia Mönchengladbach in the Premier League International Cup. If you've seen Tigolda, I think it's free. If you're not, it's a couple of quid. And support the boys because they need a lot of support. They're in a bit of a sticky situation at the moment. They've lost 7 in a row, and they need lots of support. So get down to the Rush Green on Tuesday night. Thank you. What about the hoodies? Someone sent me a hoodie. I'll wear it. So, I don't know who it is, but someone sent me a hoodie. So if you sent me a hoodie with like a Christmas hoodie, thank you. But I didn't order a Christmas hoodie. So someone sent it to me. It's quite a nice one. I quite like it. Anyway, take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, look after each other. Don't forget to give it a like as well. And we'll see you guys very soon. Much love. Peace out, motherfuckers.